Hello my beautiful ride-on people. Let me tell you 5 reasons why I absolutely love my 2019 BMW R1250 GS Adventure. Ringing in at number 5, comfort and ergonomics. That bike is just so comfortable, it is verging on the ridiculous. It has a nice padded seat, it has plenty of leg room, the bars are nicely spaced, they're high enough, they're far enough back, they give enough leverage at the bars. The overall airflow of the bike and the seating position is just pretty much A1, and although no bike is 100% comfortable once you've covered 300 miles or more, the GS Adventure for 2019 is pretty much as good as it gets. So that's my number 5, is the ergonomics and comfort. Number 4, it's the running gear. The bike is very well thought out. BMW have been developing the telelever front end and the paralever rear for eons basically. Back in the day, decades and decades ago, you'd have a rising shaft sensation whenever you twisted the throttle. The back of the bike would literally rise, and as you throttled off on the overrun, it would fall. That's totally seamless now, and the take-up is very, very smooth. So it feels like a perfectly adjusted chain at all times, but you have no chains to buy, you have no chains to adjust, and particularly you have no chains to clean or lube to clean off your wheels. One of the major pros of owning a Boxer in general. The front end telelever is a solution that really absolutely suits the GS perfectly. Effectively, it really separates the steering and the suspension forces. And the thing that I love about it is when you go over a pothole, you don't feel a massive smack through the bars and through your wrists. Now my wrists are full of titanium nuts and bolts, so it's very much appreciated that I don't feel a big slap in the wrist every time I go over a bump. But again, over the decades, BMW gradually refined it, and they've built in more travel so that it feels more like a telescopic fork, and it also provides more feedback, yet with all the benefits of separation of steering and suspension, and it travels so well over rippled tarmac that it just feels like you're cheating basically. And coupled with the Boxer engine, which has gone from strength to strength, designed in 23 by Fritz, and here we are nearly 100 years later. It's 1250cc, it's liquid cooled, it's variable valve, and you don't get a massive rocking sensation like you used to every time you blip the throttle. I mean, the whole running gear now is just sorted. Number 3 is the electronics from those clever people at BMW. Not only do we have an inertia IMU system that can tell gyroscopically how far the bike is leant over, but that talks to the intelligent traction control and cornering ABS systems, so that it will dial in just the right amount of traction control or braking effort required in order to let you have a little bit of fun, but also save your bacon if you run out of talent. Now, I gotta love that. But in addition, they've gone much further. Now we have the most beautiful and probably the best in the business TFT interface screen. And if you see the boot up sequence on the TFT screen from BMW right now, you never tire of watching that startup sequence. And the bike is incredibly intelligent within that, so you've got your link to your Garmin GPS, you've got Bluetooth connectivity to, your headset. I have a Sena SRL system, so we've got the intercom system, we've got the Garmin GPS, you've got the bike's electronic comms, you've got Bluetooth to your iPhone, and basically it means you can take phone calls, it means you can listen to your playlists on your iPhone, it means that you can talk to your bros as you're riding along in a group, and you can also get voice commands from your GPS to let you know when you need to make that turn. And that is mind-blowing compared with when I first started riding bikes back in the day, And so for that reason, number 3 is a very, very clever electronics. Number 2, it's been said many times in my videos, but it's worth mentioning again, it's the tank range. I mean, the tank range is phenomenal. What standard volume production bike out there can you comfortably get 300 miles out of? You just can't. There's nothing else out there, I don't think, that will regularly do it for the average person riding at regular average speeds cross country on all roads. And okay, there'll be people that say, well, you know, I only want to ride an hour or 100 miles before getting off the bike. Who the hell wants to ride 300 miles just to prove they've got an iron butt or whatever? That's not the point. That actually totally misses the point. You know, the idea is that when you want to stop for a leg stretch, you can stop where there is a beautiful view, where there's a view of the valley in the sunshine and wineries beneath you and beautiful flowing streams and fluffy white clouds with blue backgrounds and sunshine, rather than some, you know, garage forecourt, some gas station with, you know, bits of litter scattered on the floor and diesel fumes from the trucks coming in and out and stuff and that. Who the hell wants to do that? You know, you want to stop somewhere where you've got a nice view where you can stretch your legs and appreciate the beauty of the place. And you know, as Ed, who's just recently got a 1250 GSA, said on the intercom the other day, he said, I'm going to need to stop for fuel. So we thought, okay, we better start looking for a gas station nearby. And then he wryly added, next week. I think that says it all. Number 2, fuel range. Number 1 is a bit of a perception of mine, but I think it's really based on many years of owning 30 odd motorcycles, many of which, you know, I think 9 now are BMWs, and I'm on my 4th GS now, 2nd GSA variant, and that is unstoppable, to coin a BMW marketing phrase. That's they've often used that over the years with the 1200 liquid cooled model, particularly when that was first introduced around you know, the early 2000s, I think, 2006, I think, something like that. But it's still true today. That bike is just unstoppable. If there was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, it's what you'd want. You'd probably put 2 K80s on it and, you know, machine guns down the sides or something. But it's what you want to be on, a 300-mile tank range and a big bruise of a bike that's like a 2-wheel Ford Raptor on steroids. It just looks like it would bulldoze its way through anything. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago, bulldozed its way through a 25-pound turkey as though it wasn't there. So the bike is just unstoppable. It's also very dependable, you know. It's very reliable, it's low maintenance, and ultimately it just feels like it will go forever. The only reason why you tend to change them is because, you know, you fancy the latest, greatest graphics and features. For this year, it's obviously more angled about the, you know, the TFT and the hill hold and the, you know, variable valves, but essentially any version of the GS, even right back to the R80 GS, you know, or the, you know, even earlier than that, they're worth having as long as it's in good condition, it's been looked after and serviced well. If it's been looked after, it will look after you. The bike is unstoppable, and that's my number 1 reason why I love my BMW GS. And they are my top 5 reasons why I love the 2019 BMW R1250 GS Adventure. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate all your feedback and support for the Ride On channel. I hope you're already a Ride On subscriber, but if not, please subscribe straight away. And last but not least, ride often, ride carefully, ride on.